before I get started, I want to thank you for being here. Before I say anything else, I need to give credit to Andrew Teagle and Will Adams. This is really their project. They came up with this idea. I'm just riding coattails like I usually do. So if there is anything good in this presentation today, please, they get all the credit in the world. If there's anything that goes sideways, there is one person that you should lay at the feet of, and that's me. It's my fault. So please understand that. If you don't or haven't had the opportunity to watch Ted Lasso yet and you're concerned about spoilers, I don't think there are any in there, but you're welcome to use this opportunity to go get something to drink, maybe something strong to drink, and check back in 30 minutes. Finally, if you're watching at home and you've got little ears around, we're going to watch some video clips, and some of those clips have words that Jim Mitchell likes to use. They're not very nice, they're naughty, so please be prepared for that. You do indeed. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. I'm a me. Why would I want to be anything other than that, right? If you haven't seen Ted Lasso, the premise of the show is that there is an American football coach, right, that leaves his job and goes across the ocean to take a job as a soccer coach in Europe, all right? And hilarity ensues. The great Jason Sudeikis takes part. And if you've seen this clip, a soccer player says, "I'm a me. Why would I want to be anything else?" And I think what we see as lawyers, and when I talk to friends that do this, there is something that seems to pop up over and over and over again in our conversations. And I hear things like this: what am I doing here? I don't belong. I am a total fraud, and sooner or later, everyone is going to find out. It's imposter syndrome. It's this idea that we're not good enough. And it's a fear that the people that we associate with, whether that's in our personal lives or in our professional lives, are going to find out. And I'm here to tell you today that it's bullshit. Every single one of you here today has what it takes. And I'll talk to you about how I know that in just a minute. But if you do struggle with this, and I'll tell you I have, if you do struggle with this, you probably find yourself identifying with one of 5 main personality types. The first is the perfectionist. You focus primarily on how you do things, often to the point where you demand perfection of yourself in every aspect of your life. The rugged individualist. You believe you should be able to handle everything solo. If you can't achieve success independently, you consider yourself unworthy. The natural genius. Your belief that competent people can handle anything with little difficulty leads you to feel like a fraud when you have a hard time. The expert. Since you believe you should have all the answers, you might consider yourself a fraud or a failure when you can't answer a question because of something you've missed. And finally, the superhero. You link competence to your ability to succeed in every role that you hold, whether that be parent or spouse or an employee or lawyer or friend. And failing to navigate these roles successfully means that you're inadequate. I think if we're honest with ourselves, I think we all deal with doubt. I think we all deal with self-doubt. But there is a reason that I know that everyone in here, that if you just take a minute and think about this, it's not true for you. How do I know that? Well, you're here. And the fact that you're here tells me 3 things. It tells me, number 1, that you want to be something and a part of something that's bigger than yourself. You're either a part of the TTLA family or you should be. That means that you're not an ambulance chaser. You're not chasing the almighty dollar. You are a part of the family that wants good laws and to protect people. That's number 1. Number 2, you want to be better. Maybe you came here to satisfy CLE credit, but I doubt it. I believe that you probably came here today to listen to experts that talk about brain injuries and hear the judicial panel talk about what's going on and to talk about the new lawsuit, the new Allstate lawsuit, to get better, to put arrows in your quiver so that you can go out and do battle for your clients. The last way I know that there are no imposters in this room is because of what you do for a living. You stand in front of an insurance company and you say, "Not today." You stand in front of someone whose lives have been impacted, and you stand in front of an insurance company who has more lawyers, more money, and more time than we do, and you say, "Not today." You're a you. Why in the world would you want to be anything else? I can't practice law like Jimmy Mitchell. I can't talk to clients like Todd Clement, but that's okay. I'm me, and you're you. That's a good thing. Drinks are on, the Advocates this afternoon at the happy hour after this. Please be there. We can't wait to fellowship with you. But barbecue sauce. Be curious, not judgmental. When we close ourselves off, when we make the decision to act out of judgment, we are acting with limited information, right? We are better when we act when we know everything. Let the other side make the mistake of underestimating you. But there's another part about being curious and judgmental. It's not always about the other side, right? Sometimes it's about us. When Lynn and I Vordaer, we talk about passion. We ask people what their passion is in life. The reason we do that is because 80% of our days are probably roughly the same. We wake up, we go to work, we come home, we spend time with our friends and our family, and that's it. It is our passions that make us unique. It is our passions that set us aside and give value. If we are judgmental and put our clients in a box and we don't ask them, if we don't find out what their passions are, we are missing an opportunity, not just to show and illustrate to the jury why they should fall in love with them, but to build relationship integrity. We miss that opportunity with our coworkers. We miss that opportunity with our friends and our family when we are judgmental and we put people in a box. And unless by accident, we will miss out on that relationship. Be curious, not judgmental. I think that that's hard for us as trial lawyers. I think the reptile concept, I know many of you are familiar with it and practice with it. If you're not, it's the idea that people make decisions based on fear, right? We follow safety rules so that we are protected. I think that we make a living out of reconstructing conflicting testimony, photographs, circumstances, and we follow our gut, and as trial lawyers, 99% of the time we're right. But if we're not curious, if we don't continue to open our mind, we're going to miss it. I think the OG Yoda probably said it best. He says, fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, hate leads to suffering. Well, with respect to Yoda, I think it probably could have said a little bit better this way. Judgment leads to fear. Fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, hate leads to suffering. Yoda wasn't judgmental, neither should you, but he was curious. Be a goldfish. If you are like me, you hate losing. I hate losing more than anything else. I hate losing more than I love winning. My biggest fear is failure, and I don't want that. And a lot of that fear from me probably comes from fearing a repeat of a past failure. What does fear do? If we let it, it will paralyze us. Maybe we're afraid to pick that next jury. Maybe it's okay to take that settlement that 10, 15% off what we really think we could get. I think Teddy Roosevelt says the only thing worse than a bad decision is no decision. If we don't let that 10 seconds go, 10 seconds, we're cheating ourselves. 10 seconds. We have 86,400 seconds in a day. You can spare 10. You can let it go. Not just for past losses, but you cannot convince me that there are not insurance defense lawyers out there whose goal is not to make your life a living hell. They're jerks. Their whole part of their strategy is to try to get under your skin, because guess what? After I get off the phone call with you, Mr. Plaintiff's lawyer or Miss Plaintiff's attorney, I forget about it. But if I can implant something under your skin and live rent-free, that's great. I love that. 10 seconds. Let it go. They are not worth the time or the stress or the anxiety that they will leave. Take the 10 seconds and let it go. Find your diamond dogs. We are not meant to walk through this life alone. We are not meant to do this by ourselves. Most of us are either solo practitioners or small firms. Some of us practice in larger areas. That's okay. Personal life, work life, whatever it is, find your diamond dogs. Find your support system. The best thing about being in Texas Trial Lawyers, for you 18 new members, please hear me on this. In my opinion, the CLEs are great. I think it's wonderful what we do politically. I think it's a very important part. To me, it's family. It is getting to look at you guys for the first time in over a year. It's getting to go to reunite in November for our big party we're going to have at annual. It is important that we love on each other and carry each other, and it is just as rewarding, if not more so, to carry others. And I think you get a lot out of it. I'm not going to talk about procrastination because I'm running a little short on time, and like a Baptist preacher before a Cowboys game, I want to get you some time back. So let's keep going. I think that there are going to be losses in what we do. Any lawyer that tells you, any plaintiff's lawyer that tells you they've never lost a case probably hasn't tried enough to have an opinion on the matter. There's going to be losses. What we deal with every day is we fight. We fight adjusters. We fight not criminal defense attorneys. I think they're great. We fight insurance defense lawyers. We fight for our clients. We fight for folks that have dealt with trauma to the degrees that I couldn't imagine. And what do? We carry it. We carry it every single day. And that leads to secondary trauma. It leads to stress. It leads to anger. It leads to depression. And we're problem solvers. We're attorneys. And a lot of times, as a problem solver, we self-medicate. Sometimes that's with alcohol. Sometimes that's with substance abuse. Sometimes that's other addictions, like technology. I'm not a big statistic guy, but I talked to our TLAP program at the bar, which, by the way, if you're not familiar with the Texas Lawyers Assistance Program and you need help, it is run by family. It is run by Erica Grigg, who is a former plaintiff's attorney. Her father is a Texas trial lawyer legend, Dickie Grigg. They're family. Please reach out. Reach out to us. Reach out to TLAP. Get help. But they gave me these statistics to talk about today, and these are old statistics, and I don't think they've gone down. In 2015, attorneys say that 46% have been depressed at some point in their practice, 28% were currently depressed, 19% currently had anxiety disorder, and 10% had contemplated suicide. The general U.S. population, almost 6.5% struggle with alcohol. Among attorneys, over 25% struggle with alcohol. In 2018, Americans sent on average 94 texts a day. They'd look at their phone 150 times a day. They spent 24 minutes on Twitter, 17 on LinkedIn, 14 on Pinterest. That leads to social comparison. It's not real. I'm not saying it's bad. I think social media is a great thing. I'm not ragging on social media. I think we should all have it and enjoy it and live in it. But understand that social comparison is no different than taking a shot of tequila, which I like tequila, so I'm really looking forward to the happy hour today. But please understand that your problem solving in that moment of treating yourself, however that is, other than getting help or leaning on friends and family, just recognize potential long-term ramifications. And then we had COVID, where for a year we sat alone. I've been picking on him today, but probably the most social president in the history of our organization led us through COVID remotely. Jimmy Mitchell did a great job, but I don't think anybody can tell us more than he can about the effects of trying to lead an organization in front of a computer screen. It has effects. We're not meant to walk alone. So let's come back. Let's see each other at annual. Let's lean on our friends. Let's lean on our family. Let's reignite and reunite what TTLA means. We have an opportunity to do something really special with this organization. I'm going to quit preaching because I'll get on my soapbox and I won't get off, but I want to thank you for being here today and being a part of the family. With that, that concludes my presentation.